Hey everybody, Nittervian here, and welcome to the first episode of the Nintendo Newscast. The Nintendo Newscast is a podcast series that I'm going to be starting on my YouTube channel, which is basically just a normal podcast. In this podcast, we're going to talk about Nintendo news, Nintendo games, PlayStation games, Xbox games occasionally, but not too much, mainly just Nintendo content. And I'm not alone. I am joined by my fellow content creators.
Greetings, my comrades. I doubt any of you guys know who I am, but if you guys do know me, my name is Zeno, or Zanolith, whatever you want to call me. I do Pokemon anime content over on my YouTube channel, which I assume is going to be in the description down below.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited to talk about some Nintendo stuff. I don't know about YouTube, but I'm excited, yeah.
We also got my friend in here.
My name is Wanz, I'm a cool dude. I make some content. It's not like exactly like consistent content, but I'm trying my best out here. I have some stuff in the works.
Man works part-time at Chick-fil-A. He's a busy man.
I'm a busy man. I'm a busy
very
man.
Busy. Very, very busy.
Busy man.
You know it. All their socials will be linked in the description below, so you guys can check them out after you're done with the podcast. So, in today's episode, if you haven't seen from the title, we're going to be discussing 4 main points. We're going to go over our opinions on E3 briefly because I have other content coming out that will discuss this topic. We also are going to go in depth on The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, what you should expect from the HD version, and then we're going to go in depth with Zanolith about Monster Hunter Stories 2, and at the end we're going to mention Nintendo's recent interest in Amiibo. Like, we've been getting a lot of those recently, so that's something we're going to talk about. But first up,
yeah,
we're going to discuss E3. Guys, it's been like 2 weeks since it happened. I've been late to the show. I've been a busy person, but I personally thought it was great. I don't know about you guys.
Well, funny story. For anyone who does, well, obviously these two people know, but when E3 was going on, I was actually at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So I would just constantly be going on my phone looking at E3, and then eventually I sat down to eat lunch. And then the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer comes on, and I literally am trying so hard not to scream in the middle of Hollywood Studios and make a bunch of people look at me. But E3 was honestly really good this year. I don't think it was solid to say 2017 or 2019, but it was still really, really solid.
Yeah, 2019 was probably my favorite, personally.
Yeah, 2019 was probably my favorite because we got a lot of stuff. And a lot of games that like I personally cared a lot about. So,
yeah, that was a double Smash reveal with Hero and Banjo, and then we got Breath of the Wild 2's like announcement, Luigi's Mansion. That was crazy.
And then we got another Fire Emblem trailer.
True.
Yes.
All of us. I know all of us were so hyped for that game. You still need to beat.
Yep. Yeah.
So we need to beat that, Nate.
I got to the time skip, but there's too many games on my plate right now. What did you think about it? What did you think about it, Wanz?
For the E3, look, overall as a whole, I thought it was a okay E3. But I'm not talking about like just Nintendo. I mean as a whole with everything. But Nintendo,
E3 was I'm gonna say like E3 was kind of below standard this year. I'd say.
Yeah, I mean Xbox was good, but I mean like
Xbox and Nintendo were like the only good ones.
Yeah, literally, it was a joke. Did they had a Verizon panel?
Don't forget about Verizon, guys.
Verizon.
Oh yeah, most important one.
Verizon.
Announced the new 5G towers.
5G towers. Let's go.
I mean, let's be honest, everybody. There's 2 main things that pretty much got everyone's attention at this Nintendo E3, and that was
Danganronpa.
No, not Danganronpa.
No one cares.
I care.
Yeah,
no.
I don't. And that was obviously Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 and Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread.
Yeah, those are the two
like really
big announcements. We haven't gotten a 2D Metroid since like 2002 with Fusion.
But I mean, we got the Samus Returns game.
Yeah, but like in a real, like a continuation.
Like a brand new 2D Metroid.
It was insane. They announced Metroid 5 Dread, which we all thought was canceled back in like 2007, and all of a sudden it's just back. It's insane.
I know that was amazing.
Yeah, man, that was
It looks
crazy.
like really, really good. Like the gameplay looks good. The graphics
It doesn't even look like a
beautiful.
Switch game. Like Jesus.
It kind of looks like Ori, kind of like how smooth it is.
Yes,
It
yeah.
does. Oh my god.
I'm gonna assume it's 60 FPS because we'll
Oh,
get
yeah,
into
I mean,
other
it's
games that are
2D, but
going
it's
to be, but
It's
like,
a 2D platformer.
Yeah.
So I would assume it's going to be 60.
so that's why it probably looks really smooth. On top
Then
of
obviously we
Metroid,
got
we got
Breath of the
yeah,
Wild.
Breath of the Wild too. That was
Oh my
pretty
God, finally.
pretty amazing. When Link like was falling down, I was like, oh my god, Skyward Sword, dude, Skyward Sword reference.
I mean,
I-
there is so many theories I have. If you guys didn't realize, at the beginning of the trailer, Link's arm gets consumed by the malice.
Yeah,
And then when we see his arm's like black.
yeah, and it's like almost like black and there's like hints of green. Like I think his new powers are gonna come from his arm.
But I mean, I think it's because like I think the mouse was necessarily going for Link. I would think it was going for the Master Sword because you can see the Master Sword in the shot where the malice comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think what happens is I think like whatever the green thing is, the green hand thing, it's gonna save Link.
Yeah.
But I still think Link's arm is gonna be infected because if you look at Link in this trailer, it's not just on his arm. If you go into a little bit of his back, you see like these like kind of like zigzag patterns on like his back. It could also
Yeah.
be from the malice, but yeah, I mean, and also the skies and everything. It looks so cool.
And there's new enemy types too. We got the bokoblins with the giant horns, and we got the stone talus with like bokoblin like
Brokoblin camp.
on it, which is pretty
yeah,
cool.
because one thing I got disappointed in Breath of the Wild is like the lack of enemies. There's like only Bokoblin, Moblins, Lizalfos, and like that's kind of it. With, like,
Yeah,
main
there's
enemies.
not too many types.
I mean, yeah, so I
If
think
we got
like,
Dark Nuts and like the Hyrule Castle, like that would have been amazing.
I think that Breath of the Wild 2 will definitely bring back some more enemies. Yeah.
If it
Yeah, I'm
if it
really
does,
hoping.
that's already amazing. All they
It's
have to
not a
do is
robot
build
thing.
off of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks so good. Now, the only thing is that they didn't reveal a title, but they did say that the title was going to be kind of spoilery.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
that.
So,
So
like, I don't
don't
think
know.
the game's going to be like a huge. I don't think the title's going to be a huge spoiler. I think it's just going to be like. So, what if they call like I don't know, The Legend of Zelda Demise's Curse? Oh, Demise is coming back.
yeah,
But
that's
maybe
why
they-
they're
I
not
would
gonna
think
do it
they
something
were
like
gonna
that.
level up.
Obviously, yeah.
Because if they showed us that trailer instead of The Legend of Zelda Demise's Curse,
Then it kind of spoils the whole.
without revealing that Demise is in the trailer, they're not ready to show the main thing about the game yet, which gets me really
Yeah, they
excited.
just be very excited as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're seeing how much potential this game has. Just be like
Mhm.
so like this work of art. It just like makes me very excited.
Yeah, they also announced the Game & Watch, which features Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Awakening, and Vermin, but with Link, which is awesome.
It's a good idea. It's just that I'm kind of sad it's the only thing they're doing for Zelda's anniversary.
Yeah,
because,
they
like,
said
yeah.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's
exactly.
nothing else
I mean,
planned?
I think
Because it
Nothing
seems
else
like they're
planned.
using shells from like the Mario Game & Watch. That's what all. Like, if they use like a different one, like with like the double-sided one, like the DS kind of
oh
ones, like
yeah,
Game &
yeah,
Watches.
yeah. I've seen
Like that would be
those.
like sick. But it
I
just
think-
that they were using shells for it, and it just
I mean, like, if you really think about it, Mario's always going to be Nintendo's golden child.
yeah.
Obviously.
I feel like, I mean, I expected more from Zelda, but at the same time, like, there really isn't a lot. So, I mean, when it comes to Zelda's 35th anniversary, if you logically think about it, they don't really have, like, a lot planned because they're working on Breath of the Wild 2, and they also
True.
have Skyward Sword.
Yeah, I
Whereas
mean,
Mario, all that Mario got was All-Stars and 3D World.
and we did get Mario 35.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got a lot of other things. Yeah, that would have been nice.
And the
but I'd
Lego
say,
Mario.
Like,
We got Lego Mario. Why can't we get Lego
Lego
Zelda?
Mario was hype. Lego,
Oh my God.
Lego Zelda.
Dude,
oh my
imagine
god,
that,
that
like
would be
a-
so
like a-
hype.
oh my God, dude.
I would, bro, I would
Hyrule
generally
Castle.
buy Lego Zelda.
Lego
I would
Hyrule
Yeah,
Castle. Oh my god.
I would-
Imagine it's like
okay.
Calamity Ganon Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they would probably have, like, a Calamity Ganon, like, the boss build.
Yeah, imagine what they could have
No,
done.
no, there's definitely going to be a Guardian set if they make Lego
They're
Zelda.
not
Like,
going
there's
to.
no
The
way
issue
Oh my
is,
God, a
it's
Guardian.
not happening.
It's not
not
happening. But I'm
happening.
saying if it ever
Well,
did,
like-
they're gonna make a
Oh my
Guardian
God.
set.
Yeah,
Or it's
man.
just the Guardian.
It's just what could have been, because Zelda is like right there with Mario. Like the game,
Yeah.
I'm pretty
I
sure
think- I
Breath
like
of the
Zelda-
Wild has like, I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild sold more than Mario Odyssey. When you
Mhm.
have a franchise that's so significant, like Zelda, and it's like, okay, you get Skyward Sword and you get the Game & Watch. Cool, thank you, that's cool. But when Mario gets the Lego Mario, the 3D All-Stars, 35, 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, clothing line, a theme park. Whoa, there's other franchises out there. Like Zelda,
kind of just like
this
it
is
just
Zelda.
giving more like the
Yeah,
spotlight.
no.
I kind of find it unfair.
Breath of the Wild has sold a little bit more, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like see, like that even proves it even more. Like
Then again, though,
Zelda,
I think Breath
get
of the
stuff.
Wild. If I'm going to be honest, there's been a lot of good games that were a part of last decade, but I honestly think Breath of the Wild is probably game of the decade. For
Honestly,
the last
man.
decade.
Like it
It's
was
like,
crazy.
yeah, like
game.
there's Horizon Zero Dawn, which is arguably a better experience, very similar to Breath of the Wild, but I feel like the impact that Breath of the Wild had on the gaming industry is just huge.
Yeah. So with the Zelda announcements, we also got some other cool game announcements too. We got Mario Party Superstars,
That's gonna be so high.
like a collection. It's basically Mario Party the top 100, but with
but good.
Yeah, but good because we have 5 N64 boards. We have Birdo coming back, just random throwing it out there, and it's all online, which is really hype. And you can pause the games mid-play, so if someone has to leave and it doesn't like reset your entire game, you can just pause it. That's gonna be so much fun, and that's coming out October.
Then we also got Advance Wars.
Yeah, we have Advance
Oh my
Wars
God.
1+2 Reboot Camp. The first 2 Advance War games getting remastered, remade from the ground up. Made by WayForward. If you don't know who WayForward are the developers that make the Shantae games. They've been working very closely with Nintendo recently, and now they're getting
making
Nintendo's
Reboot
IP.
Camp?
Yeah,
I mean,
WayForward.
guys, let's not forget about the most amazing game of all time, Bakugan Tales of Vestroia.
Yeah, oh my god.
Bakugan.
Oh my god. It's the best game of 2020.
Yeah.
Literally.
I
dude.
remember I was watching
mean,
the
is
direct
that-
when the Bakugan
yeah.
thing happened, and I
I
was
remember
like,
I was watching that and I was like, why did I watch this?
Dude, everyone got so hyped. Nintendo was like, guys, WayForward is working with us. And we're like, yes, they're going to make Wario Land. Bakugan.
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 And it wasn't even a good
All right.
game.
Yeah, and it wasn't even good. It was just,
But, okay.
It was so bad.
At least WayForward is doing something good. They're making an Advance Wars game. They're finally bringing back that franchise that literally no one thought they'd bring back. It's a shame that they didn't include the DS game, though. Because there's a third DS game. They should just throw it in the collection. But I guess because
It'd
DS
be like
2 screens, I
yeah.
don't know. But yeah, we also
I think that's Kazuya. I think that's like
Yeah,
it.
Kazuya from from Tekken came into Smash.
Kazuya from Smash?
No, Kazuya is now
From Smash.
in Smash, the main fighter from the Tekken series. Personally, I think it's a deserved spot. I saw a lot of people were not too happy because they were expecting big, huge characters, which Kazuya is, but for a different crowd.
Yeah, I mean, like, Kazuya as a character makes a lot of sense. It's not a character I particularly care about, but Tekken has had a huge impact on the video gaming industry.
Oh yeah,
So, I mean,
insane.
it makes a lot of sense that
Yeah.
they were going to add a Tekken character.
Sakurai
Because,
Like,
went.
people need to
Kazuya.
realize, yeah, obviously Smash can have the like really big characters like Steve and Banjo-Kazooie, stuff like that. But it's also a celebration of video games. So they obviously want to pull some characters in that were a bigger impact. And then they also just want to appeal to Xenoblade fans who want to Pyro Mythra.
That's why we should have got Kazuha from Genshin Impact.
If we get a Genshin Impact character, I will take that as big of a big of a loss as if we were to get Jonesy and Smash.
Jonesy.
Oh come on! That's
No.
not a bad. No, don't even say that. Don't even say that.
Genshin, Fortnite, same level.
Don't even say that. Don't even say
No,
that.
it's literally the same level. You can't
I mean,
tell
It's
me
not.
otherwise.
It's not the same level.
Sakurai did say though that Tekken and Street Fighter were games that heavily influenced Smash, and without them, there wouldn't be a Smash Bros. So it's kind of
kinda
deserving
worth the
that
spot.
he's in it,
Yeah.
you know?
So it all just kind of comes full circle. But I think that's really it for E3.
We got the Monkey Ball Banana Mania collection, Zach.
Oh yeah, the most important thing.
It's literally a remake of Super Monkey Ball 2, and Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, and it's coming for $40 in October, along with Metroid Dread Mario Party Superstars. That name.
We also got Danganronpa. I'm just saying.
Danganronpa, yeah, Danganronpa's in there,
No one
and
cares.
WarioWare. We cannot forget
Yeah.
about WarioWare. Get it together. I'm just saying, I'm not a big WarioWare fan, but like, I know it's a great franchise. I just don't know much about it. I just know it's pretty cool. There's one in the 3DS, WarioWare Gold. Another one got announced. Good for you guys. If you're fans of that franchise, I know one of my friends is, so good job. Cool.
I think that's it for E3.
Yeah, I think that wraps up Nintendo's E3. Alright guys, so now we're going to move on to the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD.
Oh, I have a lot to say about this.
And the month of July is a pretty big month for games for Nintendo. We obviously have Skyward Sword, and we also have Monster Hunter Stories too. We're going to talk about each of these individual games and go in detail about what to expect, our opinions on it, and such. So with this HD version of Skyward Sword, the graphics are going to be heavily improved. Back on the Wii, it was like 480p, and now we're getting 1080p. It was 30 frames, now we're getting 60 frames. The first game was only motion controls, but now we can use Joy-Cons and Pro Controllers and Switch Lights to control the games. Yes, there was never video on YouTube or a Twitter post that said it, but the Pro Controller is compatible. People have been asking on Twitter, and it just never got said, but yes, if you go onto the eShop, you can see compatible controllers, and it says Pro Controller. So don't worry, guys, you can use your Pro Controller.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's such a good quality of life improvement, because Skyward Sword, in my opinion, it's one of the most essential Zelda games to play, like, if you're trying to get into Legend of Zelda. Because I would say you start off with, like, Breath of the Wild now, then make your way back up to Ocarina of Time, play a couple more games, but then you gotta play Skyward Sword, because it's obviously the beginning of the entire story. And I feel like the motion controls were a really big restriction to some people, because obviously, yeah, it's cool to some people, but to others, it was kind of something that was just going to push them away from the game. But now that that's obviously not the only option, I feel like it's just going to make the game a lot more enjoyable for the larger demographic.
And because it's the first game on the timeline, so it's an important game to play.
Yeah.
It's a very important game to play.
It sets up why things are the way they are in this universe. And there was a video Nintendo released a few days ago from the time we're filming this, where it detailed a couple smaller things that they're also going to be putting in this game. The item dialogue. So when you first encounter an item in the Zelda series, a text will pop up telling you, oh, you got this item. This is what it does. In Skyward Sword, you could pick up the same item 50 times, and the dialogue would still say, you got this item. Here's the full description. You got this item. Here's the full description. They fixed that. Your first time you pick it up, here's what it does. Next time you pick it up, nothing. They fixed that. That's all good.
That's a good change.
Yeah, it is. Also, in cutscenes, you can skip them. I don't know why you would, but you can. Dialogue, you can fast forward.
Don't skip cutscenes.
Yeah, not in this game. It's heavy, but you have the option.
You don't skip cutscenes in Skyward Sword.
If you're doing like a second playthrough, then I don't blame you if you want to skip them.
But like, it's Skyward Sword.
So a big thing that people want to see is Fi now has optional help, and it's not mandatory. You will not hear 20 different times every 5 minutes Fi telling you what to do. It's a map, like a menu that you open up and you can press help, and Fi's like, what would you like help with? Which is so good, because now you're not doing something going, I know what I'm doing. And then Fi's like, this is what you should do. Yeah, I'm doing that. I know. But now it's a little side menu we can open up and ask for help if you need it, which is an amazing change, because the biggest complaint, or the second biggest complaint besides the motion controls, was Fi was so annoying. But that's fixed. So this game has a lot to it.
Even though she's literally like a really important character.
Yeah, but she tells you everything. She tells you too much.
Hey, listen.
People have said that they thought Fi is more annoying. It's crazy, dude.
I mean, because Navi has literally just become an internet meme.
So, with the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, we do have an Amiibo. The Zelda and Loftwing Amiibo is going to be releasing with Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, which looks really cool, and we'll talk about later when we discuss Nintendo's interest in Amiibo. So, all things said and done, is this game worth it?
I think it is, because it's such an important game in the Zelda timeline, just in like the Zelda, Legend of Zelda like collection of games. But I just think that they're not adding enough to this game to like make it a purchase for me, because even though I haven't played the game before, like I still need more features. In Twilight Princess, we had a completely new dungeon, like in that one that was on Wii U. In Wind Waker, we had a complete overhaul on the graphics. And of course, this game does have an overhaul of graphics, but not as much as Wind Waker. That game looked like beautiful, like a modern day Wii U game with the cel shaded graphics and everything. I just, in my personal opinion, I don't think they're doing enough to make this game worth it for me. Of course, a lot of people, they're gonna be buying it, but me, I just don't think it's worth it.
I can agree with that to a certain extent. Like, I feel like it's kind of a hit or miss for a lot of people. If you've already played Skyward Sword before, I definitely don't think it's a mandatory pickup for your Switch collection. just because of the reason of it's literally just Skyward Sword, but it looks better. But I feel like if you've never played Skyward Sword before, I definitely think it's definitely worth your money to pick it up, because I know I'm going to be picking it up eventually. Probably not day one, but I'll.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up like Christmas. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it like Christmas, but not like
maybe around the holiday season if they're doing some stuff with that. When it comes to like just getting the Skyward Sword, I think it's definitely going to be a really enjoyable experience. But if you've already played Skyward Sword, I see no reason for you to pick it up a second time. But again, you need to pick it up if you're a Zelda fan and you haven't played it before, because again, it's the first installment in the canonical Zelda timeline, which plays a huge importance to understanding events that come later. Even in stuff in Breath of the Wild, there's a lot of stuff that references Skyward Sword in that game that you might not understand if you haven't played Skyward Sword.
And maybe Breath of the Wild 2 too, as well. Like they may be setting up stuff
Yeah,
like that.
not to mention Breath of the Wild 2 is seemingly putting a huge emphasis on Skyward Sword.
As soon as Link was falling in that trailer, I was like, there's going to be definite connections, especially since they're releasing Skyward Sword HD like a year before Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to come out. I feel like they're going to have connections in there, man. If you haven't played
There's going to be
game,
connections.
if you haven't played Skyward Sword, in my opinion, I think it's worth it. They've done enough to where it's an enjoyable experience. The button controls are an amazing addition that just make the game, like, honestly playable. Like, the motion controls were good, but, like, replayability is just annoying if you want a true Zelda experience. The small things they make adds enough. Does it add everything we wanted? No. Like Jack said, there's bonus content in Twilight Princess. There were full, like, rework of the graphics in Wind Waker. We didn't get all of that, but we got enough to where if you haven't played this game, you need to pick this up. It's a Zelda game, and you'll like it if you're a Zelda fan. At least that's my opinion, and the story is very, very important.
It's one of, if not the best story in Zelda.
Oh yeah, it's very story deep.
I think the only game that might rival it from a narrative perspective is Ocarina of Time.
And Goose, and
Twilight Princess. Oh, yep.
And
Goose. Yeah, just pick up the game for Goose. He's literally a legend.
For Goose.
You need this game just for him. He is one of the greatest characters of all time in media, video game history. Groose is a master.
He's the greatest character in the entire Zelda universe.
1,000 years in the future.
Literally everything. Literally everything in the Zelda timeline happens because of Groose's mere existence.
He's a pivotal character in the entirety of the Zelda timeline.
Peak fiction.
Mm-hmm. I will be picking up Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword on launch because I have not experienced this story before, and I want to do a playthrough of it and a thorough review of it to tell you guys if you really should play it once I get the hands-on experience. So I will be picking it up for you and possibly doing a side review on the channel about that in the future.
Well, there is a reason why I'm not picking up Skyward Sword, and that's actually because of our next topic.
So, as I said, this is the big launch month for Nintendo. We have Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD and Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, the sequel to Monster Hunter Stories 1, which was a game on the 3DS. And Zach has played the demo. I have not. I have had the time yet. I apologize. But Zanolith has played the game, and he's going to talk to you guys a lot about this because it's looking really promising.
First of all, if you do want to play the first Monster Hunter Stories game, it is actually on the App Store for about $20. It's the full game. You can play it all on your phone. So, I mean, if you want to play it, I take the opportunity to go and play that if you want to. But Monster Hunter Stories 2, it's a very different Monster Hunter experience as it is an RPG and not the casual Monster Hunter combat. Which, I mean, it's a lot more turn-based and it's kind of reminiscent of Pokemon in a way. And so what I got out of the trial version is that the story seems very interesting so far. Unlike the previous game, the game is now, I believe, fully voice acted. The graphics look a lot better than they did in the original one. The whole combat with your what they call monsties in this, which is just your monster which you ride, is a lot of fun. At first, I was a little iffy about the game when it came to the combat, but after doing it for a little while, I eventually got the hang of it. And again, this is kind of baby's first RPG. So I believe even if you've never played an RPG before and you're just a fan of Monster Hunter and want to give the game a shot, I think you can get a pretty good grip on the combat in the first 30 to 40 minutes of the game. But yeah, the story, it seems very interesting in what they're going for, with the whole just monsters acting wild, with a bunch of the characters they're introducing. And honestly, I didn't get enough out of the demo to really talk about the story, as it only covers about the first 3 hours of the game, maybe even less if you go a little bit faster. So you don't really get a lot of story stuff. It's just a lot of introductory stuff into the world, the characters, the combat. So you just kind of get an overall gist of what the game's going to be about before you dive into the whole world. It was a very good introduction to the game, and in regards to the performance, if you're going to play this on Switch, because obviously you can play this on either the Nintendo Switch or on a PC, there were some frame rate issues when you entered a lot of areas with, say, a lot of grass or stuff like that, but I definitely feel like, you have to remember that when playing it on the Switch, you can bring it on the go, which I feel like is a huge advantage. So whether you want to play it at your desk with higher graphics and higher quality and a higher frame rate, or you want to play it on the go, which is a little less than that, that's really up to you, but I feel like the performance wasn't something that was going to completely destroy the game's experience. Do you need to play the first Monster Hunter Stories to enjoy and play 2? No. Monster Hunter Stories 2, very similar to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, is entirely its own secluded story from the original. While some characters from the original, such as Nabiru, who is your feline companion in the game, and some other characters who appear throughout the story, are from the first one, but I don't think you need to play the first one to necessarily understand what's going on in the second one. Now, if you do want to understand what happens in the first one, you can obviously go again, download the first game on the App Store for $20, or you can watch the Monster Hunter Stories anime, which covers the entire plot of the first game, and I believe the entire series is on YouTube, entirely just on YouTube. So, I mean, if you want to watch that, you can watch that. But yeah, no, you do not need to play the first one to play 2, and that's my little rant on the game.
If you're someone like me, when it comes to Monster Hunter games, where you've played Monster Hunter World, maybe you haven't, or you've played Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch. For me, I've played Monster Hunter World and I've played Monster Hunter Rise. That's my experiences with the franchise. If you're someone like me and you look at this game and you're like, it's Monster Hunter. I've played other Monster Hunter games, but this is a different story. Should I get into it? I would give it a shot. I really would, because when I look at this game, I just see more Monster Hunter, just with a different style of combat. If combat's your thing,
and yeah, the trial's out there.
But yeah, you have a trial. Go test it out. When I have the free time, I'm going to be trying this trial, and I'll probably post on my Twitter what I think about the game once I'm able to get and try the trial. So I would like to try this game out, and I'm gonna wait and hear what Zanolith thinks when the full game's out, and possibly pick it up myself, because I've played past games and I'm interested in this franchise.
I'm just gonna say this right now. If I ever talk about my thoughts in, say, a future podcast, it's not gonna be for a while, because Monster Hunter Stories 2 is said to be like a really long game. I'm talking like 40 to 50 hours if you do a lot of stuff. It will take some time, but I'm really excited for at the time of this recording. This Friday is when the game's going to be releasing, because we're recording this on July 5th, and it's coming out on July 9th. So I'm super excited for the game.
I might pick it up as well, because if it's coming on PC, I might just pick it up there, because I prefer like the more higher graphics and stuff. So I might just pick it up on that.
Yeah, but then again, though, don't forget you can bring it wherever you want on the Switch.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the bigger advantage there.
It just depends on your preferences, but if you're a fan who's never played a Monster Hunter game, but is a fan of RPGs, I would check this game out. If you're a fan of Monster Hunter Rise or Monster Hunter Worlds, and you want another Monster Hunter experience, I'd play this game. Coming out...
Or just a fan of Monster Hunter in general.
Coming out this Friday,
I
depending
don't know
on
if this
when
will
you
be
watch
out. Yeah, I don't know if this will be out by the time Monster Hunter Stories 2 comes out, or it'll be out after it comes out, but by the time this recording has not come out yet, so we thought we'd address it.
Don't sleep on this game. It's big enough to where Nintendo thinks that Amiibo for this game is gonna do well. So that tells you something about the quality of this game, because Nintendo is very strict when it comes to their products. Which brings us into our final topic. The final thing we're talking about today are Amiibo and the scalping market that's been formed. Nintendo has brought back Amiibo, like a lot of Amiibo, and it's really awesome to see, because back in like 2014, 15, with the whole Smash for 3DS and Wii U, we had the launch of Amiibo. You all know what Amiibo are, the Nintendo figurines that have functionality in the games we play.
We're definitely inspired by Skylanders.
Yeah, 100%. It kind of died out for a bit. Between like 16, 17, 18, we were not getting really any. But then with Smash Ultimate coming out, we started to get some more. It was only really for the Smash characters though. We never got, outside of Smash, too many Amiibos till like this year, because we're getting Zelda Amiibos with the Zelda and Loftwing Amiibo for Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. We're getting 3 Monster Hunter Stories 2 Amiibo, and we're getting 2 Metroid Dread Amiibo. That's literally 6
a lot of
Amiibo
Amiibo
this year. That's insane for Nintendo. It's crazy how they're bringing back these figurines, and it's starting to get me wanting to start collecting these again, because I used to back during the period where you couldn't find them because they just weren't anywhere. But now they're coming back, and I'm starting to get back into them.
Yeah, they look really, really cool, and they sell well for Nintendo, so I don't see why they wouldn't do them.
I'm a big Amiibo person. I like Amiibo. Even though most of my Amiibo that I have, which is around like 50, don't blame me, which is on like a box right now, I just don't know where to put them. But I'm a big Amiibo person, and I might want to pick these up because I've been slacking on Amiibo lately. I haven't gotten like the Byleth one, which I was really hyped for. I saw it like GameStop and I almost bought it. I was like staring at it. So I might end up picking some of these Amiibo. But one thing I don't like is the Zelda and Loftwing Amiibo. Because
all right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Even though Nintendo has been so great with producing Amiibo, one big factor of owning them is the in-game functionality. Like with the Metroid Dread Amiibo that are coming out, you get an extra health canister, you get an extra missile canister for each of the 2 Amiibo. Right? That's cool.
And then in Monster Hunter, you get it says each Amiibo unlocks a different special layered armor set in the game.
Yeah, so small things that add to the game, add to the charm, to represent that you did something, you bought the figurine, just say like, oh, I did this is cool, I own something, here's a benefit in the game. But Zelda and Loftwing Amiibo is doing something a little extra. They decided to lock fast travel to the Amiibo.
Which is $25.
So if you want fast travel,
ridiculous.
If you want fast travel in Skyward Sword, gotta pay $25 for a Zelda and Loftwing Amiibo, which, to be fair, looks amazing, but not everybody wants it. Fast travel is a common thing. Like, it's a common functionality in many modern games, and if they wanted to make Skyward Sword modern, put it in the full game. But they had to put it behind a $25 paywall? That's not the future we should be taking with Amiibo. The way Metroid Dread did it was significantly better. You get 1 extra health bar, and you get 1 extra missile tank. In Monster Hunter Stories 2, you get armor. You get 3 different sets of armor, which is cool. Doesn't break the game, doesn't do anything, just gives you like a nice little bonus. But a whole feature? That's not where Nintendo should be going with their Amiibo.
Definitely
in my opinion, I just feel like that Amiibo, they're a bit lacking in the support, because I feel like they shouldn't be locking features like fast travel to an Amiibo, and 2, they shouldn't be doing the Smash Ultimate round, just doing a small thing like, oh, you can just like train them up and be like and fight with them.
Yeah.
I think what did it perfectly was Breath of the Wild, where the Amiibo gave them special cosmetics in the game that you can use.
Yeah,
I think that's perfect.
Like the hero, you got like the Hero of Time outfit.
Yeah, because I have the Ocarina of Time Link. You put that in the game, you can get Ocarina of Time Link's tunic. That is a great thing.
You can get damn Fierce Deity Link.
Yeah, you can get Fierce Deity Link. Then I believe, doesn't the Epona one give you Epona, and then obviously the Wolf Link one gives you Wolf Link.
That's so cool.
And you just have I have the Wolf Link Amiibo. It's one I own very few Amiibo, but Wolf Link is one of the very few Amiibo I do own. And sometimes when I'm just playing Breath of the Wild, when I'm bored, because I love Breath of the Wild, I'll just scan him in, and then I'll have Wolf Link with me, and then we go on adventures throughout Hyrule together.
Monster Hunter Stories 2 does this too with the cosmetics. They just give you new, cool outfits. That's what they should keep doing. and I don't want Nintendo to get this idea of when we all buy Zelda and Loftwing Amiibo, because to be honest, it looks really cool, and we all want one, that it's okay to do fast travel, because it's really not. They need to give us the stuff that Breath of the Wild and Monster Hunter Stories 2 is doing. If they keep it this way, and they give us about, like, 3 different waves of Amiibo per year, that could be amazing. Like, the 3 big titles for each year get Amiibo waves. That would be perfect.
Yeah, and I definitely think that, like, what an alternative they could have done with the Zelda and Loftwing Amiibo is, I feel like maybe that Amiibo could have unlocked you to use Zelda's Loftwing.
Yeah, instead of Link's, that would have been really cool.
Maybe you can use Zelda's Loftwing, and maybe there's like a benefit to it. Maybe it flies faster. Maybe I don't know. I haven't played Skyward Sword yet, but I feel like maybe
something like that,
giving Zelda's Loftwing, where maybe it's just a better alternative to Link's Loftwing, but it does nothing to change the game. That would be something cool. Because obviously Skyward Sword and every other Zelda game that came before it didn't have customization when it came to Link.
No, just Breath of the Wild was the first one.
Yeah, so cosmetics aren't going to work there. So that would be a good alternative.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, Monster Hunter Rise also got Amiibo. So
oh right, yeah,
I think they got 3.
I'll look them up.
Yeah, so that means we got 9 Amiibo this year. 9. That doesn't seem like that much, but like we got 2 different waves of Monster Hunter Amiibos, a Zelda Amiibo and Metroid Amiibo, and it's not just Smash characters.
Yeah, no, we got the dog, we got the feline, and then we got the
poster
the
box,
the main monster.
Yeah, that's insane how Nintendo's supporting it so well. I want to see it continue. I just want to make sure that it's how they're doing the Zelda and Monster Hunter figures, not how they're doing the new Zelda one. I just want to make sure it stays like that.
Yeah.
It's my only wish.
Yeah, for sure. Now, there is a very big problem.
That's true.
When it comes to these Amiibos, and that's everyone wants them, but no one can purchase them.
Yeah, have you ever heard of something called a scalper? I bet you have. They're people who buy out all the stock of a product.
They fundamentally ruined the PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Yep. You take something people want, you buy it before they can, sell it for double the price, you make way more profit. Scalpers. And it's not just PlayStations and Xboxes. You want the Metroid Dread Amiibo? Okay, where's $100? You want the Metroid Dread Special Edition? Where's $200? When these products retail for $30 and $90, they're making you pay double, sometimes triple the amount, just to get figurines and special editions for a game you want. And most of the time, scalpers don't even care about the products, they just want money. And now Nintendo fans just can't get what they want.
Especially and I feel like this problem's definitely become a lot bigger of an issue ever since the PS5 and Xbox Series X launch.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, if you really think about it, like, no one can get those consoles. Like, I remember, Jack, didn't you go out to, like, 5 a.m. to get one and they only had, like, one?
I went out to 5 a.m. and there was, like, a line of, like 30 people, and they only had one PS5 and 3 Xbox Series X's.
Yeah, I have a PS5, but the only reason I got my hand on one is because my friend has a friend who was able to get like 2 or 3 of them, and so he just gave 2 to Andrew, so he can get one and I can get one. He got extremely lucky, and it's because he managed to get those, and we didn't pay extra. We paid we paid the $500, like the normal price. He just got super lucky.
You guys lucked out. Yeah. Like people like I don't know. I can go on like eBay right now, look up PlayStation 5.
Yeah, you should do that right now.
eBay.com.
And then
I'm gonna do that.
Hey, Wanz, you should check out the Metroid Dread Amiibo prices right now.
Yeah, no, PlayStation 5. Sony PlayStation 5, $1,099.99. The digital version, $999.98. $999.95. $800. 850, 879, 835, 764.
It's insane. It's just
yeah.
insane.
Metroid Dread, 39 for the Amiibo for just one Emmy, 73 for both. Literally 100 for the game. Why the game? Why
Just
the game?
the game itself. Just the game itself.
Just the game itself.
It's insane.
$80 for the both. 227 for the special edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
I don't know what to do about it. So if you see any of the Amiibo or any of the special editions in this video and you like them, look out for them. Follow Amiibo alerts on Twitter, stuff like that. Follow Nintendo, stuff like those accounts to try and get them, because you have to race against scalpers, and no big companies are doing anything about it. Because you want to know why? Nintendo sells
money anyway.
100 Amiibo to Target. Target puts them online. One person buys all 100 and then sells them for double. Nintendo still makes the money for the 100 figures regardless if one person buys them or 100 people do. So big companies will never do anything about it. So sadly, this is what we face. So make sure you follow specific accounts on Twitter or Instagram to try and get up-to-date links, because that's, to be honest, the only way you're going to get through this. That's how I'm trying to get through this, because I would like to purchase the Metroid Dread Amiibo myself, so I'm going to have to jump through a lot of obstacles to get these.
Yeah, it is not a fun situation. It has been sadly going on since, I believe, November of last year.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Scalping has just been going on since forever.
I know, but I'm saying it's gotten significantly worse since the new gen console release.
Yeah, definitely. Since the new gen console release, they've just been getting downhill and downhill to this point.
It went from consoles to now Amiibo.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon cards.
Oh my god, yes, Pokemon cards, dude. You remember when Target and Walmart had to ban them because people were fighting each other?
They literally had to ban them because they were fighting each other.
Didn't someone bring a gun to like a Target for Pokemon cards?
Oh my god.
There were signs
really,
up on
really
Target
bad.
saying, due to safety concerns of our employees, like, we not selling Pokemon cards or like football cards anymore.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's how bad scalping has gotten.
Oh
I missed the
dude.
Pokemon cards in Target.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's just
stuff.
it's a terrible situation, and sadly, there's nothing we can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
The most that we can, the best thing that we can do is just not buy them from the scalpers.
Yeah, do not buy from scalpers. Try whatever you can to make them hold their stock. Because if they hold their stock and they don't make a profit, they're not gonna scalp them anymore. The only reason they're doing this is because they're making money off of it. So as long as you don't support these scalpers, they won't see value in doing it anymore. And then we can all buy them for a normal price, which they should be. Alright guys, so that is going to wrap it here today for the Nintendo Newscast Episode 1. Thank you for joining me, Zanolith and Wanz. Their socials will be in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and leave a comment and tell me what you want us to discuss in our next video. Follow me on Twitter as well in the description. I will also link their Twitters. Make sure to stick around because there's many more episodes to come. Thank you for watching. Any last words?
Well, have a nice night.
Have a good day.
Or whatever time it is.
Whenever you're watching this, enjoy yourselves.
Don't buy from scalpers.
Nope, that's what we learned today. Don't buy from scalpers. Buy Monster Hunter Stories 2 and buy Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Alright, bye guys.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Peace.